comes the money.
Here we go. Money talks.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
All right, I'm back now. I've unloaded it, took that silly rack thing because I won't be doing extended riding, no extended trail riding. Got it off, haven't cleaned it yet, didn't even get a chance, but I want to show you guys it does run. There are a few things I need to address. Number one, it does have a fuel leak, which I knew about, and that's the reserve line that they put on here is leaking from the head. So I'll have to remove this and then put a cap spacer in there. And the other thing is the intake manifold has a large crack in it, or the intake port has a large crack right there in the rubber. So it's, you know, at idle it's got spitting and backfiring and all sorts of fun stuff. But check this out. You know, once you get her going, she'll go, but she just she likes to backfire on low idle. So that's an intake. She'll pop and bang and all sorts of fun stuff. So that's a very easy fix. But other than that, check this out. When you try to give it throttle, hear it popping? She'll take the throttle. But you hear it backfiring, you can see it backfiring right there out of the intake. There she goes. So the intake is backfiring, and that's because the carb needs to be cleaned. So, like I said, still has a little work ahead of it, but it's running. It is drivable, it's just it's not good to drive it that way. So clearly we want to do the work. You can see this fuel line just dripping away, so I have to address that here. So, but other than that, like I said, it'll run and drive. It just doesn't like to idle very well. When it idles, it wants to pop, and that's because it's getting vacuum from a couple different areas. So probably what I'll do is, I've already got the seat pulled. Probably what I'll do is I'll go through and just replace all the vacuum lines that this has, just to make sure I don't have to revisit this job. So we'll pull the carb, which is pretty easy to do. We'll just yank this off, pull the carb, and we'll give it a good cleaning. And I see that this line here has a big crack and split in it, so we'll go ahead and replace some of the vacuum lines. I'll fix that fuel line, and I think pretty much this thing will be ready to rip, tater chip. Like I said, it runs and drives right now. When you idle, it wants to pop and bang, and that's just not good for engines to do that. So we're not gonna allow it to keep doing that, right? We'll fix it properly. There's a proper way to do things. All right, a little update on the project. I've got it all torn down right now, as you can see. I did go down, get some new tube here and some new clamps, because that was leaking really bad with air. I gotta burn that one side off still. So if you want to know why it wasn't running good, well, this would be a very good indicator as to why. I don't know why he didn't just take this apart and clean it. You tell me. Jesus, man. Buddy guy. There's no gas in here. There's no gas in this float whatsoever. So, yeah. Of course it wasn't getting fuel. Why would it get fuel in this condition? That's why it's running lean and popping like that. Yeah. Let's clean this up, see if we can get some fuel going into her. Alright. That's all clean finally. Scrubbed and got the majority of everything I possibly could out of there. Same thing with over here. Some of it is just dyed rusty now. There's nothing I can do about that. But I scraped and pulled all the valves out. The only needle I can't seem to get clean is this one. That hole is so tiny and it's just stuffed. I got to figure out how to break that free. So I got my wire brush here, and I'm just going to pick at it until it finally lets me through. So I'm actually going to soak these in gas tonight and just let these sit and fresh gas. And then tomorrow we'll put it all back together and see how it runs. Something tells me it's going to run a lot better. I've been working on getting that little wire through there for 3.5 hours now, and I finally got it to go through all the way. All the way. Look at that. Boy, my hands are dirty. Boy, this camera's really good. I wonder how close I can get. It's still autofocus. Wow, this camera's fantastic. All right, well, with that being said, as you can see, this 45, I'm trying to grab this with my fingers. This 45 is officially all the way through.
So, let's see if I can get it around here. There you go. That took forever to clean that out. So now we can put everything back together because I freed everything up. I need to wash my hands. Whew. Boy, this is quite the project. All right. Carb is officially back in, completely cleaned. Everything should be good to go. And I reinstalled all that. I put a whole new boot inside here with new clamps and retighten this, so I shouldn't get any air leaking through here at all. So there shouldn't be any popping. So that's done. And I got to reinstall the vacuum line here on this side. And then I got to route my fuel line back from here. It's from the reservoir to here. And then we should be able to lower the tank and start this thing up and see what's going to happen. I still got to finish the air box off and finish reinstalling a few other parts. But hey, we can read it now. It actually says McCooney Corporation. McCooney. So it's a very good carburetor. So everything's working how it should now. We are good to go, baby. Yes, sir. Whew, boy, that's quite the project. So we know why Buddy didn't want to do it, but Dan likes tough jobs. Yeah, it only makes you smarter. You know what I mean? So after I get this done, we'll see if this puppy cranks up and idles like it should without any popping, cracking, or any of that kind of stuff. Hopefully we've solved the problem. If we're still getting backfiring and popping, then it's the timing, and I'm going to end up having to pull that timing cover off, put this engine at TDC, find out, I'm going to have to bring my timing gun over, find out if it's jumped any teeth and the timing needs to be reset, or if the chain is loose. I mean, that's the next obvious step. If this doesn't solve the problem, and it still continues to pop and backfire through the air, through the intake, then clearly we have a timing issue. So let's hope this solves it. Look how easy this stuff is to rub off, guys. I was telling you, this thing is just dirty. That's all. It's just been outside. It's very dirty. It just needs a very good pressure washing, and this thing will start to look alive again very quickly. It's just extremely dirty from sitting outside. So a good pressure wash, and this thing will start looking 1000% better. So now I can take a heat gun to all this, see if we can bring the colors back out again. And yeah, we'll go from there. Well, I got another hour and a half ahead of me at least before I can move on here. So I just want to show you guys the progress. Dan starts a project and doesn't stop until normally he figures out if he can move forward or if I have to order parts, you know. So see what happens. We're getting there. We're getting there. This old Big Bear 4x4 should be 100% here pretty soon. So that's what we're hoping for. Yeah. Boy, that is a pain in the butt. All right. Time to drop the gas tank. I got all the air boxes reconnected. Oh my God. That is definitely a project. That is for sure. A lot going on the top end of this motor. All right, it's time to drop the gas tank, reconnect the fuel line, prime it, turn it over, and see what this bad girl does. See what this bad girl does. God, I hope it starts up easy and just stays running with no issues. That would be amazing. I've invested a good number of hours into this project now. Yay, me. Okay, most of my tools are picked up. Most of the stuff that could fly off anyways are rumble free here for the most part. Figure it's only fair we do the first startup together now that I've repieced everything back together. I turned on the fuel. I don't see the float leaking or anything. So, must not be doing that bad. Seem to be doing alright, I guess. Oh, we're not going to know until we crank her up. Hopefully I don't have to rebuild this carb. That would really suck if I have to rebuild it. I'm noticing a little leakage, but I can probably tighten that screw if that's what that is. I do see a little bit of drippage, but looks like it's coming out of the overflow. So we'll see. Let's try to crank her up and see what she does. Okay. We got lights. Lights on? Yep, okay. we're good to go. Let's try to crank her for the first time. See what happens here. You ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm getting a little bit of backfired a couple times, but I think she might be alright now. Came into a nice idle. There we go. Oh boy. Well, vroom vroom. Daddy goes vroom vroom. There you go. What do you think? Yes, sir, Tater Chipper. Yeah. And away we go. First gear right out. Boop. Hey. Lovely. Well, that was fun. That was fun.